money.
Yes, it is a lovely morning, isn't it?
Some sad news out of Los Angeles tonight. Friends star Matthew Perry has died at 54. According to reports, the Emmy-nominated actor was found dead of an apparent drowning at his home in LA just last year.
Matthew Perry, our beloved actor, whose death is still hard to wrap our heads around, and it's getting even more confusing with new developments in the investigation, leaving us with more questions than answers. Join us as we dive into the latest updates, explore the shocking twists and turns, and honor the memory of a beloved star who left us too soon. Let's get into it. On October 28, 2023, Matthew Perry's body was found unresponsive in the heated end of a swimming pool in his Los Angeles home. Initially, the police thought it was just a tragic accident and closed the case, figuring no one else was involved as the official cause of death was an accidental overdose of a ketamine drug, which is a pretty powerful drug. Unfortunately, he also had some underlying health issues, like coronary artery disease, that contributed to his passing.
Perry's official cause of death has been listed as deferred by the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner's Office. Further toxicology testing will investigate whether Perry had other substances in his system, including alcohol, cannabis, cocaine, and prescription drugs.
But later on, the Los Angeles Police Department decided to take another look at his death. They decided to team up with some other agencies like the Drug Enforcement Administration, or DEA, and the U.S. Postal Inspection Service to figure out how he got that horrible drug that led to his death. So what really happened? Let's dive into what we know so far. As we all know, the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner's Office revealed that Perry had a huge amount of ketamine in his system. Now, you might be wondering what ketamine is and what it's used for. Well, it's a strong medicine that doctors use to help people feel numb during surgeries and medical procedures. It's like a super powerful pain reliever that helps you disconnect from the pain, making it easier to get through tough medical stuff. So here's the thing, ketamine has some secret talents too. It's not just for surgeries and medical procedures, it can also help dealing with depression, anxiety, and severe pain. And for some people, it's a total game changer. But important part is, ketamine needs to be used with caution and under medical supervision. If it's used improperly, it can be harmful, so make sure to have it under the guidance of a medical pro. That way, you can get the benefits while staying safe and sound. While the LAPD and the DEA were investigating Matthew Perry's death, they found something really concerning. Turns out that Matthew had a huge amount of ketamine in his system when he died, which was likely a major factor in his passing. And get this, the autopsy showed that his ketamine levels were similar to what you'd see in someone undergoing major surgery. That's a crazy high amount, and it's no wonder it played a role to his tragic death, along with drowning. It's important to remember that ketamine can be dangerous when not used properly, and this is a sad reminder of that. The LAPD and DEA are working together to find out how did Matthew Perry got that much amount of ketamine which contributed to his death. And here's the weird part. His last prescribed ketamine treatment was over a week before he died. That's a pretty big gap, and that's what got investigators really confused. So they're working hard to fill in the blanks and understand how he got the drug.
The downer part comes in your brain where there's a sedative effect, where you're becoming, depending on the dose, anywhere from being disinhibited, having a hallucinogenic or almost a psychedelic-like experience to find healing, to full-on anesthesia and unconsciousness like we do in the operating room here.
The investigation is still ongoing, and authorities are working to determine how Matthew got the drug that ended up causing his death, whether it was an intentional act or an accident, and from where he got the deadly dose.
LA police have opened an investigation into the death of Friends star Matthew Perry. He died 6 months ago from a drug overdose, and they want to know who prescribed him ketamine, which was a contributing factor in his death, according to an autopsy.
As part of LAPD and DEA's investigation, they're sitting down with Perry's loved ones, friends, and colleagues, trying to figure as much information as possible. They want to know about his last days, his struggles, and anything that might have contributed to his death. The detectives are also looking for clues, going over every detail, no matter how small it may seem. They're determined to find out how Perry obtained the ketamine that led to his death and whether anyone else was involved. The investigation is still ongoing, and so far, no one has been arrested. Here's the thing: if we dig into the past, Perry had a history with ketamine.
I'm a drug addict. I'm a person that if I have a drink, I can't stop. I'm in control of the first drink, and so I do all these things to protect myself from not having the first drink.
Sure.
But once I have that drink, the allergy of the body kicks in. This is all documented alcoholism proof.
It all started when he was in his 20s and tried ketamine for the first time, thinking that it would help him deal with stress and anxiety. But before long, he was using it all the time. He even made jokes about it in interviews, calling himself a party boy. But as time went on, things started to get out of hand. He was using ketamine every day, and his friends and family were worried about him. He was missing work, having trouble remembering things, and even experiencing hallucinations.
How did you get the courage to fight the addiction to Vicodin?
Well, you get into a place in your life where you're having a problem, and you either lie down about it or step up to bat and take your swing, and that's what I did. It wasn't really a choice. It was just, that's what I have to do, because there's so much out there that I like, and I didn't want to lose any of it,
In 2001, Matthew hit rock bottom. He ended up in the hospital for a week after a near-fatal dose. That's when he realized he needed help. So he checked into rehab and started his journey to recovery. He was open about his struggles.
I didn't watch the show and haven't watched the show because I could go drinking, opiates, drinking, cocaine, like I could tell season by season by how I looked.
Hoping to help others who might be going through the same thing. He even wrote a book, Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing, all about his addiction and recovery.
I say in the book that if I did die, it would shock people, but it wouldn't surprise anybody. And that's what I'm doing with writing this book. That's why I wanted to do it. I wanted to just talk about the highs and the lows, because people are suffering out there.
But it wasn't easy, and Matthew didn't stop. In 2015, despite resisting, he went back to his old habits a few times. He admitted to using ketamine again, saying he was trying to self-medicate his depression. Despite the setbacks, Matthew kept trying to get help. He tried new therapies and treatments, determined to overcome his addiction. It was a huge struggle, but he never gave up. He continued to act, speak for, and inspire others with his strength and courage.
I would like to be remembered as somebody who lived well, loved well, was a seeker, and his paramount thing is that he wants to help people.
But sadly, he fell victim to the very drug he was trying to overcome. His struggles with ketamine ultimately contributed to his death. Matthew's death was really shocking for everyone because in the days leading up to his passing, he was in an incredibly positive place, both mentally and emotionally. He was feeling extremely enthusiastic and optimistic about his upcoming projects, and those close to him reported that he was in really good energy. In fact, just a day before his death, he was described as being completely normal and fine, with no signs of any distress or struggle.
Learning new details today about Matthew Perry's final hours. The Friends actor spent the morning playing pickleball. He was said to be obsessed with the sport and reportedly played the game twice a day for 2 hours. But on Saturday, he called it quits after just 1 hour because he was fatigued.
What's more, the autopsy report revealed that Matthew had been living a clean and sober life for 19 whole months before his passing. This is proof of his hard work and dedication to his recovery, and it's clear that he was on a path towards healing and wellness. So what do you think really happened that ended up with such a tragic event? It's hard to believe that the talented actor who brought so much joy and laughter to our lives through his iconic role as Chandler Bing on Friends is no longer with us. Who else could make us laugh, cry, and say iconic lines like, "Could I be any more?" all at the same time? Of course, nobody else. It's the one and only Matthew Perry.
Look at me! I'm Chandler. Could I be wearing any more clothes?
Friends and family are still coping with the news. Tributes are pouring in, remembering Perry's iconic portrayal of Chandler Bing. His loved ones and friends have been sharing their heartfelt reactions. His family released a statement saying that they're heartbroken, but also grateful for all the love and support from his fans. They remembered Matthew as someone who brought so much joy to the world. His friends' co-stars, including Jennifer Aniston, Courtney Cox, Lisa Kudrow, Matt LeBlanc, and David Schwimmer, issued a joint statement.
Friends issued a joint statement paying tribute to their friend and colleague. "We are all absolutely devastated by the loss of Matthew," the 5 actors said in their statement. "We were more than just castmates. We were a family. There is so much to say, but right now, we need to take a moment to grieve and process this unimaginable loss."
The creators of Friends and many other celebrities like Maggie Wheeler, Paul Rudd, and Aisha sent their condolences. Fans are taking to social media to express their sadness, praising his comedic genius and remembering his kindness. Now, let's talk about something real for a second. Matthew Perry's story is a major reminder that addiction can affect anyone. Yes, anyone, no matter how talented or successful they are. So if you're struggling with addiction or mental health, know that you don't have to go through it alone. We can all reach out for help and keep pushing forward, even when things get super tough. Matthew's story shows us that asking for help is a sign of strength, not weakness. So let's keep it real, guys. As we all wait for answers, let's take a moment to celebrate Matthew Perry's legacy. His impact and memories will live on with us, his fans, and the countless lives he touched. So let's ask ourselves, how will you remember Matthew Perry? What's your favorite Friends moment or quote that still makes you laugh? Share with me in the comments below.